don't like to record, but I just realized that we are not recording this. So apologies, Peter. You might want to start again.
Yeah, it's fine. So, like I was just trying to appreciate the moderators and everybody that's interested, or everybody that created this particular program as is motivating us startups, and that makes sense. So, my name is Olalike Olaokwa, right? I'm a senior Microsoft Dynamics functional consultant, and also the head of technology for 1691 Tech Solutions. So basically, we're like a startup for a technology solution company where we just create, of course, solutions to problems majorly. And we created our own internal product, which is called the Best Price NG. Apparently, the Best Price NG is a platform that bridges the gap between end users and artisans. We are obviously going to expand into the digital space, digital service part of things. But for now, we are looking to start with artisans first before we scale up. And it's not just anyhow, matching. We're using AI to smart match end users and also artisans to start with. So we are faced with a particular challenge, which we are still looking to resolve internally, because most of the times when we pitch to investors in coming on board and investing in this particular solution, their first question is always, okay, if a customer and an artisan does a job for the first time, so how are we going to be sure that that cycle is still going to continue and the customer is not going to call the artisan off the site and say, okay, let's do this offline and stuff like that. So that is a major challenge we are trying to resolve. And even top brands like Bolt, for example, and Uber, they face such challenges too, because of course, you can order a ride now, and if the ride is too expensive, right, the rider might just tell you, okay, can we just do offline because of the commission,
Yeah.
the platform is to actually charge them. They want to go offline. So it's like a major global problem. And
Mm.
it will be great if we as 1691 can actually solve that problem, because of course it will definitely iterate down. Am I audible enough?
Yes,
Sorry.
you're audible. You're audible. Sorry, my facial expression, right?
Yeah, I just wanted to understand if there was a challenge. So, I mean, so that is just one major challenge we're looking at resolving. So
Yeah.
it would be great to connect with like minds who can, propose solutions or, collaborate with us to know how we can, resolve this particular problem.
Yeah.
We had an idea to offer incentives to these artisans that will come on board. So anytime, like a bonus, so anytime you actually get a request, fine, we are going to charge you a commission, but then again, we have an incentive to offer you. So that may promptly, make the artisan tell the customer to say, okay, no, don't let's do offline. Let's go back through that same cycle so I can get my incentives and we close the deal like that, like so. So, I mean, that's why I'm here and I'm happy to connect with anyone
Absolutely.
who is interested in this collaboration.
We
So
can,
thank you very much.
Peter, we can make this problem our next design thinking problem to solve, because we've
I-
got
I'll
problems.
be grateful, man.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a case study to discuss, and instead of
Yeah.
discussing a random, ChatGPT created case study, you have given us a case study. You've given us a case study.
Yeah, that makes sense.
While I was in the flight, I was actually reading a book um, on my phone. Bad is that I can't remember the title, but I read a line that was talking to entrepreneurs never to try to solve a problem that is, embedded into human culture. If a problem is an human culture, if it's a cultural problem, the book was just proposing that you try to run away from it. Cheating has always been a cultural problem of humans.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
if I, for me, I wouldn't say that you should be having sleepless night over that. I would say you should be having sleepless night about it, just ensuring that that platform provides, good experience to the users. I mean, because Amazon, for example, hasn't solved it. So Uber hasn't solved it. Bolt hasn't solved it. Airbnb, for example, everybody tries to encourage their users not to negotiate price out of the platform, you know. Um, but people will come back to your platform because of the user experience, not because of one single artisan. But we can make this our case. But this is quite a very interesting conversation. Anyone wants to drop a thought before we see any other person that has a partnership request, and then we can make this our case, during the conversation. Any other partnership request? Any other partnership request? If you've got partnership request, this is the good time to let us know.
Okay, good. Good evening, everyone. Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you well.
Okay, Tayo, thanks for the shout out the other time. I really appreciate it. My name is Daniel Malik. I'm the founder of Lagos Digital Marketing Training and also the convener of Nigerian Female Entrepreneur Conference, Lagos Digital Marketing Conference. And this year I started something called Decoded. Well, what I'm doing is with digital marketing, I've discovered that a lot of entrepreneurs are going through challenges when it comes to marketing. And after losing my wife in 2019, I also discovered that I started something about mentoring female entrepreneurs, and I also discovered that a lot of female entrepreneurs are actually going through um, a lot of challenges when it comes to marketing and strategy. As much as these ladies are making a lot of money in the industry, the structure is really, really faulty. So that was why I started the NFEC, the Nigerian Female Entrepreneur Conference. And then I started a high-end, an HNI conference this year, and this is where I'm seeking partnership. It's called Decoded. I'm trying to bring in, I have a very close relationship with the head of global head of sales and strategy for LinkedIn.com.
Mm,
And he has spoken on my platform for 2, 3 times now. But this time we have a conference, a seminar coming up, which is an HNI seminar for just 100 people.
mm,
And because of some of the things I've done recently, expenses has been summer. So I've been trying to seek for partnership, when it comes to, I don't know, maybe this is the right platform, but when it comes to funding for this particular event, which is coming up, in the next 3 months. Um, Ali Asgar Abedi, that's the head of global sales, is going to be coming to Nigeria. The creator of Late Night Show is going to be coming to Nigeria. I've confirmed all my speakers. The only speaker I'm yet to confirm, I have Obi Asika speaking. I have the head of credit registry speaking. All of them have been confirmed.
mm,
The only person that I'm yet to confirm, which I'm going next week to confirm, is the governor of Oyo State.
mm.
So I'm seeking for partnership, when it comes to funding and, bringing the event together, and seeing how this can come into fruition. So
Mm.
I don't know if this is like my second time here. The first time I was really intrigued. I didn't even say anything. But I didn't even know. I didn't start with you guys the first time, so I didn't know this was how the flow. But this time I said I was going to see what's happening here, and I must say this is a fantastic, avenue. So I don't know if it's something that anyone might be interested in. I can
Cool.
also send the pitch deck and everything.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Anyone here? So, Daniel, I mean, Daniel is an event person. That one, I give it to him. That one, I give it to him. I know, because I mean, in those days when I was some sort of like trying to build Utiva. I used to like subscribe to many newsletters, and one of the companies that I used to get their newsletter, and I would think to myself, what are these guys doing right? Are these guys talking to me? And I was like, oh no, let me go learn from them. And I used to get like a lot of like newsletters, and Daniel used to do like several digital marketing training, room full. So I mean, I even have confidence that the room is going to be full for that your event. So anyone that has expertise in partnership and funding for events, I don't know, did I connect you to Jumoke? I don't think you were the one.
No,
Oh,
not me.
okay. I know a lady, Jumoke.
Okay.
Jumoke knows how to look for money. She's good
Oh,
at
really?
Yeah, she is very good at it. Yeah, she's very good at it. Now, what I don't know exactly is what her model looks like. Um,
Okay.
yeah, but I know she just finished a very, very super massive event that even got funding from Oyo State government. Um, let me
Oh,
just buzz her. So she is very good at that. I don't know if they're I don't know if there's any other person that want to comment on that. I will introduce you to Jumoke.
Thank
Any other
you.
person that is in events, funding. But another way we can also think about this is this, Daniel. If you have like top 10 or top 20 like potential organizations that you think might be excited about funding this type of thing, you can also throw it in the room and ask people in a very subtle way, maybe not throw the whole 20. You can first throw the first two. Anybody knows anyone in this organization at the corporate communication department? I think it's corporate communication that does funding for events, right?
Yeah, it is. There's
Yeah,
corporate communications,
yeah.
yes.
So you
It is.
can.
We have actually reached out to a couple of brands, I mean, like you said, I've been into events for, some years right now, and we know some of these guys, but you know how the economy is right now in Nigeria. A lot of them are trying to see, and because it's the first event,
Yeah.
like the last event we had, the Nigerian Female Entrepreneur Conference was the first event. It was first of its kind. A lot of brands were skeptical, but FCMB jumped on it. And it was an amazing event. It was a room filled. We had over 3,800 ladies that registered for the event, and it was packed. And now we have FCMB that have signed us on their ship just for the next 2 years. So we have MFEC being sponsored by FCMB and all our programs but that is for females. So this is different. So we know some of these guys as well. But at times when it's not just about knocking on the corporate communications now. They also have orgas. So some of these people have decision makers that
Yeah.
Fosmark wanted to sponsor last time, but they keep saying that the organs have not actually given the say to go. So yes,
In case there's any other person in the room, please feel free to.
somebody saying shout out to my bank. I don't know.
Who is that? Let me find you the person. Was that Tehili? Because I know Tehili was also with FCMB at some point. I don't know if he's still with FCMB, but I know he was like agile. Let me find out. Tehili, was that you that? No, I don't think so. Okay. Any other person that would like to comment? Yeah, it is still your bank. Oh, okay. Okay. You're still there. Okay. Any other um person that will someone says pivoted twice due to market demand, but started off as a marketplace for resale of pre-owned goods. Now we're transitioning largely to B2B2C. For now, we're keeping things in wraps until MVP is out. I don't think I quite followed the conversation. Teju, do you want to unmute and share with us? I'm trying to see what the
Hi,
conversation was like. Well,
hi, Taya. So I think can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you.
Good evening. 1 second. Let me see if I can share my video. Right. Can everyone see me?
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes, yes.
Great. Awesome. All right. Hi, Taya. Good evening. So I'm still trying to keep things confidential. I think it was Chair Healy. Apologies if I messed up your name. Yeah. He was asking what I was transitioning from. When I introduced myself, I talked about what we're building, and I couldn't add a one-liner, but I later mentioned that we started off as a marketplace for the resale of pre-owned goods. But I mean, based on market demands and insights that we found out, we saw that the problem was not even demand, right, or even supply. The problem was connecting both demand and supply together. And even those that have the supply, having the amenities and facilities to be able to even sell to the market. So we're currently working on an MVP for that. And I've been working with third party partners to help, but it's been quite challenging. And even for trying to raise funding, if you understand how e-commerce or marketplace works, is a very high, it's quite capital intensive. So using my salary no longer cuts it. So actively trying to raise funding to build the MVP. So I'm looking for a CTO. It's been hard. I've been in the e-commerce space for over a decade,
I
and I know
know.
that if you get that wrong, so beyond even finding someone who is talented in whether engineering or growth
Mm.
or tech, you also want someone that you're compatible with, that shares your vision, and is also interested in coming on board. That has been a Herculean task for me. So
Yeah,
I think that's why I'm here. I'm
yeah.
hoping to. get someone that can key into the vision and
Mhm.
is very passionate about that market
Space.
sector.
Yeah. And
Thank
Teju
you.
is someone that, I mean, Teju's story with Konga is quite very interesting. She was with Konga for quite a while. So if you that this is quite very interesting because to have someone like a Teju as your founder while you are the co-founder, as a co-founder is going to be a very interesting thing because she really knows the space very well and she's very energetic and passionate about the space. And the interesting thing is that she knows the orgas. I don't want to say, but I would say Teju knows the orgas at the top because you were EA to the CEO of Konga at some point, you know.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's where the passion for entrepreneurship started. You can't work with him and you don't have the fire.
You
Yeah.
know what is interesting is that my EA left me, or my EA left and went to go and start a company. I'm like, all these EAs, they would
You
shout
should be
me.
proud.
Yeah.
You should be
Well,
proud.
I'm proud, mixed
Yeah.
feelings. Yeah.
Yeah.
But uh Teju, you need to talk to Tehili. Tehili is and also you guys need to be running away from core engineers as CTOs, because usually that's my own personal bias. Usually, yeah. I wanted to say something, but I wouldn't say it. But usually they are like very engineering focused. And once you build the product, the role usually changes from looking for an engineer to then looking for a listener to customers, someone that is very agile, someone that can change, someone that can also handle disappointment because the whole product might flop and you have to build something else. So Taylor is very, very amazing person. I mean, I've known Taylor now since I started Utiva. He is a coach himself, and he is a product manager himself, technical product manager himself. And I think everyone on my team knows him. Um, so Taylor, two of you can talk, and any other person that's also, interested in engineering leadership. Engineering leadership can also reach out to Teju, you know. Um, yeah, yeah. Thank you, Daniel. Daniel just also said that a technical product person with strong engineering background will be great. For me, I honestly also think that strong engineering background, once you raise money, you can always hire those people, but you need someone that can also attend pitches with you, that can stand by you, think more strategic, and not just be locked in engineering. But I'm happy that Temitope also said that you need a product person to be co-founder. If the person has technical skills, good. Temitope, say something now. All of you are just damida. It's not good.
What are we going to say?
Can I say something?
Yes, believe. Believe.
Yes, sir.
This guy came to my team and scattered everybody. My team has not recovered. If you're looking for a coach, for your sales team, should I say sales? Because it was my sales team that you coached, right? But what you did to them was way more than just sell and more than sales. My business operations manager left that meeting and I've always known a number offhand. Like I believe said I must know this number offhand. I mean the session was so great and thank you for doing that. Thank you really for doing that. It was quite a very lovely one. So
Thank you, sir.
right.
Thank you for the opportunity to talk with your team. So I wanted to just buttress what you're talking about as regards the having core technical people to be CTOs. Now, you all know that when you are trying to build or go to market, what brings you here will not be what will take you to the next level.
Correct.
So from my experience, there's this guy that runs Ethereum Nigeria. I don't know if anybody knows about that program. They train people about Ethereum, the crypto market, and all the core blockchain technology that builds Ethereum. I know a guy that, so the guy created a community around that space. So I'm the only non-tech developer on that community. And the reason the guy brought me to that community is because everybody just speaking code, Python, and everything. Nobody is talking about markets, the market references. Nobody talking about which market are we addressing. So if the CEO of the organization is not a market-driven person, you then go and bring another core tech person more. That is crisis. That is crisis. So I was trying to recommend that when you are bringing someone, the person can have tech background, but it shouldn't be the core developer.
Yeah.
It should be somebody that understands leadership, someone that understands product development, someone that understands process development, someone that understands market research. So he or she brings all of this knowledge into that tech role. Because you know that the way things are changing, 3 months from now, everything you have created is almost going obsolete. So you need someone that can actually consistently iterate. And I experienced with all these engineering guys, once you don't tell them, say, this is where we are going. When you're trying to change, they're like, no, more money, you need to add more money to the agreement and all of that. So those seeking CTOs, let's be very, very, it's better you have one person that has knowledge, then you then bring in engineers who you know that you are maybe 2, 3 engineers that are working with you, developers. They might not be very, very strong, quite about it's understandable, but gradually they will help you to build faster than those who are core engineers who know if it's not code, it's nothing else. So that's just what I wanted to add. So I agree with you when you said that the technical people should not be too technical.
Yeah.
Later on, you can go and get chief architect and co. And it's just nomenclature. It's just nomenclature. But for now, get people that can do basic coding. So they can build the team. Then gradually you iterate, and then the team becomes better. Thank you, Sas.
Yeah. I mean, it really saved my life too. Because I used to think that the right co-founder is like technical until I started to realize that once the product is built, every other thing you saw in that person is now useless. You now need a leader than an engineer. And that's that point, your frustration then increases because the person doesn't even understand any other partnership request. Jumoke is on the call. Was it Daniel? Yes, Daniel. Jumoke is on the call in case the two of, oh, sorry, it was Peter. Sorry, Pete. I'm mixing up the name. So in case you two of you want to connect at the end of this conversation, please. I know Jumoke is kind of like burnt out right now. She just finished a very super interesting event that I love and I couldn't attend because I had elections that day in Lagos.
Hi, Peter. Good evening. Hi, Tayo. Good evening, sir.
Hi, Jumoke. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I'm a bit lost as to what you need from me, though, but I'll catch up with you.
Yeah, two of you will
All right,
catch up
that's
in
fine.
the conversation. Babatunde, please, over to you. Unmute yourself and talk. Unmute yourself and talk.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Babatunde.
Can you see me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm sorry. I was actually came in late because I was trying to ensure my work I had to. So I'm Babatunde and I'm the founder of Research Gains. So we are building the largest open social data intelligence platform in Africa. So we are into data collection, documentation, and accessibility. But this time around, we are making it 100% automated, where you don't have to go to you don't need any field work anymore. You don't need to move around to collect data. And we have access to over 5 million respondent samples in Nigeria at the moment. So on our platform, you see it as a Google form with target respondents. So you create your form on the platform and you target your exact demography. You can target age, gender, location, whatsoever. And these respondents only have access to these surveys. And we validate their data using NIN. So to ensure quality assurance and a whole lot of things we put in place. So I'm technical. I'm technical, and my own problem is the business. So I started this when I was in my final year because I realized that students need this kind of platform for quality research, and Africa contributes only 2% to the world research, and is a big issue due to poor quality of our research in tertiary institutions. And we launched. And when we launched, we moved into the industry and we realized that students don't really have money.
Yeah.
So they pay per respondents, and with respect to the total number of questions. And part of this money are given to respondents as incentives. And some of them are used in different ways, maybe data, maybe vouchers or whatsoever. Then we are trying to pivot to the business because we realize that the FMCGs, they need it for market research. We also have the NGOs for social research and likes. So I have been bootstrapping for 2 years building this product because the research space is a space that you will be criticized by lecturers. So the goal is to pivot with the lecturers with education and extend to business. So we got a lot from professors criticizing on our sampling techniques, and how to ensure that we actually bring in the best research and also build the infrastructure for several custom research. So we have a lot of features. And at the moment, my concern has been the business side because I'm very technical and I'm also a business person. But
Sorry, can I ask
yeah.
something? Is there a company that is doing this at a great scale? Is there a successful company that is doing this?
Yes, we have platforms that does it, but these platforms don't actually target the African markets.
Oh, is there a
So
there's a global company that does this?
not global, but they don't target the African market. Like maybe
Yeah.
Europe now.
Yeah,
We
so
have platforms that does
who
it
is
in
the
Europe.
market leader in Europe?
Are you talking about me
No, I'm saying who
or
is
my
the market?
competitors?
So who is the market leader for this type of business in Europe?
Okay, we have YouGov. We have Statista.
Statista.
Yes.
Using a Statista for the African market.
Okay, yeah, exactly.
Right.
Basically YouGov for the African market. Let me show you YouGov.
Okay, you can share the website for any other
Yes,
person that is trying to get clarity on what
yes,
you're doing.
YouGov.co. You can check YouGov. Yeah, I just shared the website now.
Okay. Okay.
So YouGov collects real-time data every day. So they track a lot of data. They collect a lot, and these data are data that you can use. Anybody can. In fact, YouGov even collect the data of how people in the UK feels every day. They could tell you that people in the UK today don't feel happy. the platform. So that is it. The goal is to build a pipeline for a lot of data sets because Africa lacks a lot of quality data, right? And this is the future. So
I mean, I
you know,
totally get what you're doing so that we can move on to other people.
exactly. So I'm looking for a business, someone in the business operations. Maybe someone who has worked for let's say McKinsey. These are big tech firms. These are big firms that goes into market research and in the business space of research.
Yeah.
And so that has been my concern.
Anyone that is interested in building the YouGov.co.uk for the African market. I know Steers, but I don't know if Steers can get their data themselves. But I know Steers does a lot of like enterprise data analysis. And the founder of Steers is someone we're together in Cascador. Anyone that is interested in that space, please feel free to reach out to Babatunde. That will be a very, very interesting thing to build for the African market. I mean, data is scarce in Africa. And the business model is very, very interesting because would I subscribe like a £30 per month to continue to get intelligence that is presented to me in a very simple, easy to digest way, and that I can also customize it? I'll be very happy to pay that amount of money. Would I pay that money for everyone on my leadership? Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. But it's gonna be very, I mean, if I'm enjoying it, I wouldn't mind, you know. So, but Babatunde is looking for someone, no, a co-founder on the business side. He is very technical. So he's looking for a co-founder on the business side, and that's someone who is like operations, marketing, sales, growth, a super good storyteller, and someone who has probably raised money
Exactly.
and is able to also raise money. Any other person for partnership requests? Guys, if you also have anything to say to help Tunde, please feel free to talk. Feel free to talk. Feel free to talk. Oh, okay. Adama. Adama, go ahead. Oh, I saw
Hi.
Belief's hand too. Okay. After Adama, Belief will go. Adama, please.
Yes, good evening. Please confirm if you can hear me.
Perfectly.
Yes, I
Okay.
can hear you. Yeah.
All right. My name is Adama and I'm the founder of HiPrep. What we do at HiPrep is we personalize kids K-12 learning experiences for kids. And we've been doing this for the past 5 years since COVID. Mostly we've worked with third-party tools to deliver this service to our parents. And, we've been able to reach a lot of kids since then up until now. On our platform as well, we also have teachers earning a lot of money because, we do this thing where we connect them with our clients, with parents that need personal tutoring for their kids. We've done it for a couple of years to actually know that there's a huge market for it, and a lot of parents need something like what we are currently doing. Then currently we are moving every single thing that we're doing online to enable us scale and to enable us grow. And one of the ways that we're doing that is increasing ways that we can track our tutor effectiveness, easier ways that we can also onboard teachers into the platform. And we are also building, an AI smart study tool to also support the kids along the way. I have not been particularly lucky with co-founders. So I am the business person. I do everything. I'm the business person. I'm the educator as well. I have a background as a teacher. Um, so I'm looking for a technical co-founder. If I can get someone that's highly recommended, I'd really like that because I think I had someone at some point, but it was just difficult, working with them. I don't know, maybe because also we were struggling to clearly define our path at the time. But ever since then, that was 2022 up until now, I've not been able to, get someone else to work with. So we are at the point where like I said, we're moving everything online. We are also scaling our solution because we know that what we have, is working for the kids. And so I'm looking for someone that can, build fast, has the whole technical mindset, understands like the entire startup environment, understands the need for speed, also has like anything at all. Okay, so I mean, even if they don't understand learning and how kids learn, I mean, I'm happy to share the knowledge that I have. But yeah, I'm looking for someone that has, the technical skills and willing to work full time with me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think we need to do an interesting, you know, we need to really have an interesting conversation in the way we on the business side approach, co-founders and, how the technical guys also approach us so that we can have a much more exciting, relationship. Adama built HiPrep, amazing organization. Um, and the business model is also very easy to understand. Um, it's quite very straightforward,
Mm.
and she's looking for like a technical co-founder that can man the engineering side of things.
Mhm.
That can man the engineering side of things. Adama, let's also have another conversation, please. Myself and you. Maybe when we are done, any other person want to comment on Adama? I keep saying Adana in my head. Adama's, sorry, Adama. Oluwafemi, I know your hand is up, but I don't know if you have a partnership request or you want to comment on Adama before I go to Belief. I know Belief wanted to comment on the previous person. Um,
Mine is a partnership request, so you
okay.
can go ahead.
Okay, cool. Let's take you then. We'll go back to Belief because Belief was supposed to be a comment. Believe, I hope I'm right. But this is not just an answer.
Yes, you're right.
Okay, yeah. I wanted us to take the partnership request and then we go to comments. Please, Ferry, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. So, my partnership request is for a product manager that is also a developer, if it is possible. Um, I have industry experience in media buying, and I'm looking for someone that can join me in translating my vision into reality. I I am looking at building the Amazon of traditional media buying in Nigeria. And what do I mean by that? For most businesses here, um, if you've not had the experience of advertising maybe on a billboard or radio or TV, you don't have a clue. You know, it's very frustrating. You go to radio stations, you just go to anywhere, one Musa or one Fatai. Apologies to any Fatai on the call, please, to assist you on how to advertise. So traditional media buying in Nigeria currently is a black box. It is what they give to you that you accept. While there are some attempts by some people to also digitize the process, it still has a lot of friction, which is why I'm first looking for a product manager that has a coding or developing skills. What I want is clear in my head. By virtue of my experience, I have a relationship with all the most of the media owners, vendors across TV, radio, and out of home. And because also of my experience with SMEs and owner managers, when it comes to buying a spot on a billboard, it is traumatic, to just say the least. So I'm looking at just putting all these lists online. And for me, it's just about the experience. It's not about the coding, which is why for me, the product person is key. Then the developer. I don't know if my request is clear.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. But you are still at the ideation stage, right?
Well, I've been straddling between ideation, MVP, back to ideation, because developers have shown me shaggy, as in by virtue they are just about coding, back end, front end. I said, guys, this thing, I can't feel this thing. I can't. So I need, of importance is a product person that can help me come up with an almost intuitive UI interface. Yeah, a user interface for that awesome UX. I've developed various versions of it, but trying to migrate it is so clunky. So yeah, it's safe to say I'm in ideation stage, but I don't also want to build on the already clunky one I have existing, which even in myself, I find it difficult to navigate because of.
So you've built a version of it?
Yes, I have different versions of it.
That have been built by developers?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes.
I think it's in reality, you need what you say you need. So anyone in the room want to comment on this?
Thank you.
This is quite very interesting. This is quite very interesting. Any other person? Femi is on the business side. I don't want to talk a lot about Femi because Femi hosted a session with us. It was awesome. So if you have any requests, any comments, and Femi has been in the ads space forever. like marketing space forever, media space for really ever. I mean, it was media with Friesland for a very long time and done media here and there. So if anybody wants to comment, please feel free. He's also looking for like a technical person that understands engineering and can get in to build the product with him. But most importantly, he started with emphasizing so much around I'm looking for a product person, like a product person who can some sort of like take all the different elements and pull them together and maybe also prioritize the product development or the user journey, prioritize the product, development journey. So you're not building what is supposed to be built third, you're not building it first. But if you've built something, I love that. I mean, it's anybody wants to say something? Believe, I think this is the best time to have you.
Okay. Okay, thank you. I wanted to comment on what Babatunde Balogun was talking about, the research program.
Oh yeah.
So I kind of took interest because I do research as a side hustle. I do PhD thesis for people in the UK, masters and other stuff like that as a side hustle. So I'm kind of interested, but I don't know how I can merge it with my work. But there's this guy on the platform. His name is Edvis Boniface on the Velocity platform. His name is Edvis Boniface. He was the guy that had a website, maybe like a couple of early last month. He was on the group asking for help on how you could retrieve his data. That they had
Oh,
website issues. Yeah, so that guy runs a company called EduGist. With EduGist, yes, so he kind of had a lot of partnership with a lot of government agencies within the educational space. And so I think Babatunde might need to speak with him
yeah.
for access to other schools across, especially schools they're not the Lagos kind of schools,
Yeah.
schools that are within other states, the northern states and all of that. I think he has some access to all those schools for
Oh,
ease of getting the information across to some of the students there for
yeah.
sign-ups and all of that.
Yeah.
Though I do not understand the monetization process for this, but I'm angry with the fact that we don't have data in Nigeria. So if there's somebody that is providing something that can actually provide Nigerian own data,
Yeah.
bro, I want to be part of this. I really know. I don't know how we can work together, but I'm interested in it, and I will see how much I can contribute to ensure that we get this product out.
Yeah, this is like I feel that this is that eureka moment where Jesus says, "It is finished." You know that moment where Jesus said, "It is finished." At the back of his mind, is like, I'm going home. Hi, this human being suffered me. And this 33 years I used with this idiot people who have suffered my life. I think I'm at that moment where I'm just feeling like, okay, this is really good. You know why this is good? Belief is quite a very great strategy person. And I'm saying this as not theory. I mean, Believe is someone that will come into your room and will do like a 10 minutes, first 10 minutes Belief will do in your room. You will be like, who is this guy now? But if you stay another 30 minutes, you'll be disrupted. Like this, because I know my team.
Ori meeting Uber, yeah,
No, I mean, I know my sales team, they're like the most, if you walk with me on sales, you would literally almost die, and if you're able to survive it, then because my salespeople just believe that they are good, you know. If belief came to make them know that now there's a lot to know, there's a lot to learn. And that was really, really very interesting. So if belief is talking about that business, Babatunde, that is something that he's really very interested in. And you guess what? The guy that belief talked about, EduGist, he's been in education research for as much. And
exactly.
I literally told him to like, guy, you're too passionate about this thing.
I've known Edvis forever because I started from the education space myself before I gradually moved into strategic consulting. So myself and Elvis, we've been together. I can't remember how many years, 10 years, I don't know, or more. And
he's an amazing guy.
It's something that yes, he is. He's good.
I think the first time I
met
him,
he has all the connect.
Yeah, I met him when I met him in the US. I can't remember. I think it was maybe for one program, and then he told me about education, no, I met him in the UK. We're at the
UK when he was doing his masters.
Yeah, we're at the London Tech Conference. That was where we met.
Yes, exactly.
So, Babatunde, feel free to connect with the three of them. I'm sure there's something. And usually, maybe we always shouldn't start the conversation with, oh, let's be co-founders. I,
Exactly. Yeah.
I sort of like think that the conversation could start with, oh, how can you help me? Because if I have to find co-founders today, I know people that I will run to. I'm not looking for stars. I'm looking for people that are just available to help me. Because if we're able to do things together, we can figure it out. But if you are too smart and too brilliant and you're just up there and we're probably just catching up 1 hour every day, you know, you're probably not my type of person. My co-founder is someone who wants to talk every minute. Maybe not structured meetings, but we're still at the very early stage of getting shit done. And I just need someone that is very dirty in its execution. Um, so Babatunde, you guys can approach the conversation from like let's just think together, talk together, interact,
Yeah.
play together, and see how it evolves, But what you're building is awesome. I mean, because I've seen Steers, Steers provide exclusive data, focused on Africa, and they provide it to like top brands like Sterling, like Heineken, like Nigerian Sovereign Investment Trust Authority, and I know the co-founder. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, are you building Steers? But when you then showed me YouGov or something, I'm like, ooh, this is really big. This is big. And the global market also need insight into the African market, not just for Africa, for Africa. So well done,
So
guys.
then,
Exactly.
one more minute, sir, please. One
Okay.
more minute. I have two guys that I'm working with, and they were talking about this CTO. I'm like, okay, since we know CTO, why not let's do a pool and have. So what we did is what I'm saying now. So they were looking for CTO then before I came in as a consultant, trying to do the business strategy and all of that.
Mhm.
So and I told them that why not let's do vacancy. We are looking for developers. For those, I'm trying to those that are looking for core CTOs now. Now, I know the issue will be salary, right? So, but let's put whatever the salary you want to put out, put the salary there. You'll be amazed that somebody will apply.
Oh, yeah.
And with the way tech is right now, a number of people will apply 5, 10, 15 people. When you have all of those people in your room, have a conversation with them. Now, at that point in time, if you are bringing a CTO, you might want to give equity. So
Yeah.
you can as well give equity to these persons that you are bringing who have applied as regular vacancy jobs. Give equity to them, give them 30 bonuses, and even crouch the salary down to a barest minimum that you can afford for the now. Why the equity is now in the long run when things have started working. So
Yeah.
if you do that, we've done it for 2 clients, and they've gotten the tech guys they're looking for. They have to get 3 at once. And from zero tech department to a 3-man tech department, and the total salary in a month is like 120, 120, 124 for each of them, and they all have small equity and performance bonuses for milestones reached. Because we started generating some revenue from the other end of the product. They said that they want to now turn it into a full functional app that can function. But pending when the app comes out, the company is already generating small revenue. Okay, this revenue is used to service the needs of these people,
Yeah.
and which is the tech team that are developing, so that they'll be motivated to work. But in the long run, there's a compensation plan that covers 2% equity, 1.5% equity, and all of that was properly structured. And before you know it, the tech team is on ground. So
Yeah.
instead of waiting to get, because if you're looking for the people that are already at the top to become your co-founders, their demands become very, very high.
And they
That's
don't
what
know
I've
it.
seen. I saw some guy who were begging this guy to collect 500K. He said that he would never, based on who I am, I'm an XDs. Okay, if that is the case, this is a startup. These guys are bootstrapping. So how do you bootstrap somebody who wants to collect 500K per month, minus the other benefits he or she is looking for as a co-founder and right? Some people have the money, some companies have the money. But for people like us who are working with nano entrepreneurs. I'm always very careful not to call plenty money because it helps you to understand how you can process your. So one guy is doing an ideation program, right? Ideation bootcamp right now. All he's doing is just gathering people that he can work with, training them. From there, you will see those that have very good skills. You bring them in to work with you. It's easy for you to talk about the salary. There
Yeah.
are a lot of young guys that have tech backgrounds, development, UX, UI backgrounds, and before you know it, they will join your team. And then, as long as there's something that's coming to them per month, you'll be amazed that they'll be willing to work with you. So we
Yeah.
can look at it from that perspective instead of waiting for the core big guys who have done 15 years or 10 years or 8 years core development that are not ready to go low to lower
Yeah.
revenue compensations. I just wanted to add that to the people that are asking for CTOs.
I
Thank you
mean,
very much, sir.
I find it very interesting that what you've said is the pattern I see with very traditional entrepreneurs who then want to build in the technology space. They've learned the hardest way that the best talent are usually not the most high profiled. If you're not hiring a CTO to come do process organization, that's not necessarily what the person is coming to do. If you're coming to like, hey, I need someone who can build an entire department, lead an entire department, build processes, reporting structures, and all those kind of things, you might be looking for people who have like 10 years engineering, yada, yada, yada kind of thing, because they've worked in a very engineering structured environment. But if you're looking for like a CTO, maybe the word CTO, we should stop using it a lot, because if your team is not even up to like 10, 15, 20, 30, um, I try to run away from all this C.
Exactly. That title is too big.
The CTO is not coming to come and lead a technology department. That's not what you're hiring for.
You need a
You're
developer.
looking for someone who can just get the ground running and someone who can execute really fast and get the product out there, you know, get the product out there. If it's not out there, whatever you have in your head, in your paper, is just nothing. You're looking for someone that can execute. And for me, I think you're looking for someone who can promise and deliver. Someone who will say, oh, I'm going to follow up with the UI UX person, and you can go and sleep because he will follow up until he gets the design out. We might have to do a session on where technicalities meet business operations fauna. That's really very interesting. We need to probably bring in people who started in as, you know, CTOs and how did they get to that level. But I would rather build with someone who is quite very early, you know, still very early, who can get result out for me, than build with someone who is still very late. And because all our lives depend on getting it out anyway, no matter the process, the structure, the pitch deck, the English, if it doesn't get out, we don't raise money. So I'd rather work with someone who can get it out for me and then move on. Ugo is here. Femi, your hand is still up. Oh, I hope it's not the previous hand. Ugo, do you want to quickly jump in?
It's not the previous
Yeah,
hand.
Oh, okay, it's another hand. Okay, let's take Ugo. Since you've gone before, we'll take Ugo and then we'll come back to you. Oh, Abatunde's hand is up again. Okay, good. This is becoming interesting. Ugo, quickly.
All right, good evening, everyone. This is an interesting section, and I needed to. Yeah, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Awesome. Yeah, so this is an interesting section, and I just needed to. I wouldn't forgive myself if I don't share this experience that I've also gotten in the
Great.
past few months building my startup shop as well. So talking about technical co-founder and CTOs, I mean, Eita have said a lot about this. I mean, we are so obsessed with big titles. I have a CTO co-founder, I have a CFO, I have a CMO and all that. Meanwhile, your team is not even up to 10. I mean, why the hell are you getting those big jaw-dropping titles when you can as well find innovative ways of building? So I will share an experience. So prior when we were building Shoppers Hub, I got a technical co-founder, CTO, and we were building and all that. But along the way, things weren't just working out for us. So the CTO had to go, and also the devs that we had 2 back-end dev and 2 front-end dev. All of them had to go because we ran out of cash and all that. So I had to start all over again. But based upon the lesson that I've learned about all this, I went the alternative way, which is the first thing I did was to seek out for volunteers, developers that can come and devote, let's say, 2 hours per day, 3 hours per day, and join me in building. So I got some volunteers in devs and in marketing, in customer support, and we started building and remodeling because we had to remodel the platform. And even though the attrition rate for those volunteers were high, but I had to deal with them. And over time, another good thing I did was to form an advisory board and brought in some industry leaders that give me certain advice. And because of that advisory board, I was able to get a technical team lead, not a CTO this time around, a technical team lead.
Correct.
And this guy have been working for international brands and all that, I think 8 years experience. And what I did was I brought him on board, gave him some equity, about 4% equity and all that. And the goal is that, okay, these are the milestones. So we had to set milestones. We have to work for this period of 6 months and attain these milestones. And the goal is that by the end of these 6 months, we must have hit up these milestones, which will enable us to also get the funding we need to continue. And then we'll unlock remuneration or payment for you by those 6 months, based upon we meeting up the targets that we've set. And I got my lawyers, the paperwork was done, and the guy came on board. Part of the instructive thing he did was that when he came on board, there was a lot of anyhowness in our code base and structures and all that made us to be paying a lot in our servers and all that. He restructured everything. Then code documentations and everything. He did all those and structured everything the best way he could. We're using a microservice architecture. He structured everything well. And then another instructive thing that he did is that he now went and brought in some developers that he has already worked with before and that are entry level and mid level, and brought them on board and said, okay, we'll go. I know that we don't have the funds to pay these guys at this point, but look at the thing. They are willing to work anytime we have a project to work, because what we're doing then is that we're focusing more on the business side of things. So anytime we get a lead or a partnership and there's something that needs to be done on the technical side of things to enable that partnership to work, he quickly works on it and ships it out. That's what we're doing. And then he brought these guys and said, okay, let's give them 0.5% equity and let them work for this period, also 6 months. And by the end of that 6 months also, we'll unlock salary for them. And that is what we've been doing, and it has been working for us so far. You understand? It has been working for us, for the past 2 months that I started that process with them. So I'm just trying to use this to back up with what the last speaker said, that most times you just need to find innovative ways or creative ways to bring in people to work with. But when you're now looking out for, I need a CTO and I need these senior developers and all that, you don't have the funds to fund those kind of people, and they may not really have the patience to really sit down with you and do the actual work, and you might get your fingers burned at the end of the day. So it's always good you find innovative ways to do things, and over time you'll be happy for it. So I just need to chip in to share my own life experience on how I've been navigating this journey in terms of building.
Very interesting. Very interesting. One thing I always say is there is really no one size fits all. I know many people have read the Y Combinator's model for building companies, but if you're building in Africa, you have to just be innovative with the way you do things. But for me, the measure of success really is it's ready? Is the product ready? If it is not ready, even if you have like X, McKinsey, X, Meta, you get people from, XX to come build with you. If the product is not ready, it's not ready. I know sometimes we also glorify these titles because we want to put them on our pitch deck. That, the guy who is our CTO is an X this, X that, X that. I get that part too. Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
Oluwafemi's hand is up. Yeah, please, let's quickly take Oluwafemi. Guys, we're rounding up the session in the next 5 minutes. So that I can quickly brief us on how we're going to do our co-founded marching, and we'll have that session on Saturday in the evening. Oluwafemi, please.
Okay. Babatunde, the solution you're working on actually piqued my interest. I want to know if your universe captures demographics that cut across the paying ability to pay audience. So currently, because of my experience in the media advertising industry, the solution for audience measurement now is very crappy. They still use diaries. Diaries are like they have a panel that sits in front of TV and they are ticking a physical diary. Yes, I watched it. I did not watch it. I had the opportunity of pitching for an industry solution. It's called a mobile passive audience measurement solution, which sits on a mobile phone. That was in 2023. Though the tender went to another competition and they are yet to roll out now. This is 2025. So I've been looking for a way to improve on it because it's a bit capital intensive for the advertising industry. So I've been experimenting with some tech stack that builds up that solution. So I'm thinking, if I can get my audience panel from your research universe, that would be another area of reducing costs, because forming a panel that is stable and little or no variation across demography and psychography, it's a huge work and it's the critical part of the audience measurement system. The reason why viewership in Nigeria is being rated lower, well, they are being paid lower for content compared to other African countries, is because we don't have a standard audience measurement solution that can be benchmarked globally, So people would rather expose their content out of Nigeria and earn more than wanting to expose it here. So, Babatunde, that's my question. The depth of your universe, how deep, how wide is it? Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Can I go ahead? Sorry,
Yeah,
Tayo.
yeah. You
Okay.
go ahead. You can try and make it brief. And if the two of you want to
Okay.
get on the call, we try not to make this like a pitch session for businesses. But if you have, if you guys have like time, you could get on a call together. But I want you to talk about that because I think others might also be interested in that.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Tayo. So, Oluwafemi, yeah, we incentives are given to our audience for coming to our platform to share their data. And you can also not just collect qualitative data. You can also collect. You cannot just collect quantitative. You can also collect qualitative data on our platform. You can organize interviews for specific target groups and even psychography too on our platform. So we've built a pipeline where you can we use different kind of pools to develop several samples every day. So for the psychographic part of it. So that's it.
Okay.
So my contribution, just I raised my hand before.
Okay.
Yeah. So as a successful, I've been successful in building the tech stack, and the advice I'd like to give is that people who are finding these tech guys to build these products should not be they should just look for someone who is very good and they know is very, very good and ask that person to recommend.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the best way you can get them, because if you are not a technical person, it's very, very hard to qualify or to be able to know someone who is good, because people pad CVs now and it's not about that, right? It's about getting jobs done. So referral, I think, has been the best model for getting the best guys who who are good and are also affordable.
Yeah.
Yeah, because their bosses recommended them.
Yeah.
So that's it. Thank you.
And please don't overlook that young chap that is with you. You know, one of the biggest mistakes I made, one of my investors came and said, "Oh, you can't build with these young people. You need older people. Older people have their place too, really, you know. But those young chaps, you know, especially the young, hungry ones, what I can't promise you is, oh, that there will not be bugs. Nah. The first product of most companies, especially the companies that we all admire today, their first version of their product were very, very shitty, you know. But at least they built something. They got it out, you know. If you have the best technology and you're unable to get it out, um, I think GitHub is like the best place to describe it's like the graveyard for many innovative solutions. Temitope is saying that if there are fintech companies here and you want to increase the values to your users and you want to offer your users, you know, the ability to invest in mutual funds, fixed income deals, yada yada yada, you can then use the API of Get Equity to do that. So I think Get Equity pivoted slightly to this model, right? Do you want to talk about that, Temitope? Is it still on the call?
Hi, good evening, everyone. Happy, did I say happy Wednesday? It's been a very good question. I think for now, your question, no. What we did basically has been to aggregate different products. So from mutual funds, debt notes, commercial papers, treasury bills from different providers. Now, what we have done with our API is that we give you a different flexibility. It's on one side, if you want your users to invest directly, right, we can easily open up the accounts. Now, if you're working directly with the asset managers themselves, it's a lot of paperwork and it's slow. With our APIs, they can do their KYC just as the same way we do, fill in the self check-in, self-accreditation, and then they have an account and then they can invest. But if you rather do it as a float where you yourself will basically resell to them, then you will be our customer and then you can resell it to them. Now, what we do is we work with SEC-approved asset managers. So we've done the KYC, we keep embedding. And what we're doing is not just only, I mean, although yes, we're starting out from Nigeria, but we did KYC, like we did some POCs with places in France, in Zambia, Namibia, and other places. So we focus on trying to bring deals across the world, and that's the goal. But starting, of course, within Nigeria, we've been partnering with some of the most active managers. And in terms of assets themselves, we pre-select the assets. So the asset managers send us, but it's not all deals that we take because some deals are not also as safe as it is. So we pre-select mostly good ones that have returns. We've done this for over a year, zero defaults, down close to $1 billion in payouts. So yeah, looking forward to tearing down any questions you may have on the call. So you can reach out to me on the group, or you can email me and we'll talk more. I hope I was able to take justice. Because I know there's a lot of questions, but I don't want to hog the mic too much. Yeah.
So, Temitope, we can do a pitch session. We have a pitch session. So we can do a pitch session. I think it would be interesting to see you pitch this and share the way it works with us. Our time is gone, guys. Our time is gone. I would have loved us to go on and on and on and on, but I really wish that we got good relationships out of this and good partnerships. Please, for the guys that some sort of like connected, drop numbers, You know, don't just be saying, oh, can I connect with you on LinkedIn? Nah, collect the number. WhatsApp is good. In those days when I used to do networking, when I meet someone, because I didn't want to be very forward and say, can I have your number? Or say, can we connect on LinkedIn? I then realized that the LinkedIn was useless. So when I meet you at an event, I'll say, oh, do you want to share your WhatsApp? If you can't share your WhatsApp, be cool. I'm moving. Because I know that LinkedIn, you won't even respond anyway. So collect numbers, let's talk, let's have conversations behind things. So guys, we're going to do something on Saturday evening. We've been contemplating Saturday or Sunday. I just want to brief us quickly. We're going to be having a co-founder business case session. Now, this session is not going to be organized by us. We're only going to do the matching. We're not going to come on a call like this and then say, oh guys, let's do it. No, we won't coordinate this. We won't. We won't. We will put it out there and say if you're happy to have a co-founder, hang out on Saturday by 7 to 8, show your interest. And then people are thinking, are you technical or business or both? Are you technical, business, or both? Are you technical, business, or both? We're going to ask. And we're then going to download everybody's data and some sort of like match them. So on, and Elo is going to do all these things. So Elo, if you're not here, you better wake up now. You're going to do all these things for us. God bless you. So we will then match you. We'll match you with a random person, someone that you probably haven't even spoken to before. Now, what would excite you would be that you would realize that the dynamics will then begin to show. Some people will show their interest. They would say they want to be matched and they won't show up, and for several reasons, so you will get on the call, waiting for someone, and then we won't even create links for you. We won't create links for you. We won't do it. What we would only do is just put this all out there. Now, guys, we're rounded up. If you want to turn on your video so that we can do our selfie, we always do selfies, So again, let me brief you on what this is about. What we're trying to achieve here, is to create a platform where people can actually connect with themselves, but not just talking randomly. We want them to actually connect by doing something. And doing here, we've designed a business case. It's a 15 to 20 minutes business case. So what we're going to do is that we're going to go back on the group at the end of this call. We're going to scream it out there. If you want to join the co-founder business case session, please show your interest. We'd ask you, are you technical or your business or both? If you say you're technical, good. We want to match you with someone that is business. If you say you're business, we want to match you with someone that's technical. If you're both, we're going to use our algorithm. And it's not my algorithm, it's a law's algorithm to some sort of like match you. Now, all we are going to do is to match and announce the time. You guys will find each other because we're going to put their numbers there. You will find each other. You guys will talk to each other on WhatsApp. You will create a link for the session between yourselves. You will join the session at the time. You'd have a conversation. You'll be done when you're done with the case, you will then submit the case to us. Right. Now, because we know that you're responsible people, why do we want to create the links for you guys? Why do we want to even connect you guys? Why do we want to? Because that's how co-founders meet anyway. They meet themselves, they exchange contacts, they do something little together. They then realize that they are able to work together for a longer time. And then we do another session to create another scenario where two of you work. If you say you want to move on with that person, we'll match you again with the person. If you say no, we rematch you until you find someone that meets that your soft spot. And you're like, oh, this is my guy. We're going to do that like a couple of times. Maybe that's why we don't want the session to be more than 15, 20 minutes. So if you see yourself doing more than 15, 20 minutes, it looks like the dynamics of the relationship is interesting. If you see yourself doing 10 minutes, two of you are bored, you are sleeping, maybe you guys are not. I don't know. But at the end of this series, you will find a co-founder. That's what we are trying to do. Okay. So Thank you. Any questions, comments? And we're going to take a selfie. We'll take this selfie today. Any comments, guys? Comments. Questions.
Hi, Itai. I have a quick question. Yeah.
Hey, Toby, how are you?
I'm well, sir.
Awesome.
So my question is, if the guys coming together working on a case study, as you've mentioned, what they will eventually work on, will it be executing that case study, or is the hopes that when they connect, they can get to like find a mutual discussion that fits whatever they're trying to achieve together, or
What
will
do
it
you
be trying
think?
to build that case study?
Toby, what would
I
you
think both
suggest?
actually. I'll prefer both.
Okay.
And eventually, if they find a middle ground, if it can be something entirely new or still that case study, I think
Yeah.
it's a good one.
Yeah. I also think that, conversations on, oh, I love you does not usually start with, oh, will you give me 3 children? I don't think it always starts with that. So most times when you're starting a relationships most times, I'm not generalizing anyway, but relationships most times don't start with the outcome and the end goal. It starts with these two people even trying to connect and see, do they even understand each other? If I say something, am I clear? Do you understand the way I talk? Do I understand the way you talk? Do I find conversations with you very genuine? Do I see you as quite very real? I mean, if you're going to work with me, for example, there are things that we're going to talk about that I would know that, hey, we can't just work together, we can't just work together. So, for example, if you're someone that takes jokes very serious, you cannot be around me because I joke with everything around everything. I joke with everything. So if you're very picky and offended, and that's some people that just, they're like PhD people. Everything is like thesis and dissertation. They have like very methodical way of, not methodical. So we want to start with not the industry conversation, with some things quite very light. Do you understand what I mean? So instead of just meeting a lady and saying, "Oh, you're gonna give me like 3 children, we're gonna buy a house in Finland together, when you're raising 3 children for me, you'll be cooking in the kitchen and I will be, no, you don't start that conversation that way. You're some sort of like starting with today. So I think that we can then, as Toby said, we can then graduate into a little bit more technical, and then maybe graduate into a little bit more technical, Or if you guys suggest, we can also make it open that people just get on the call and some sort of like choose what they want to talk about. Ayodele, oh, your hand is up. Good. Ayodele, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Itayo. Thank you, everybody, for coming on the call today. I think your last statement is it for me. It depends. After the last call we had, myself and someone on the call, he mentioned something he's doing. I mentioned, and we felt, oh, this is good. And immediately we booked a meeting. We scheduled a meeting. Our first meeting we met. After that meeting, we've had about 3 or 4 meetings now.
Whoa.
Moving, and immediately that day, immediately after our meeting, he dropped a comment in the group that today's session was awesome and discussion are already ongoing. And I smiled. So for me, I think the session should be a little bit free. I think it should go with what Babatunde suggests. It should be a mix. Let's talk. Yes, I think it depends on individuals. Just like Eita mentioned, you can't meet. Some people will meet a lady today and start boost bass, while some will meet a lady and start to relax. They want to know the person.
Right.
Even if the boost bass is coming, they will still be calm. Say, "Oh, can I know you better? Can we know ourselves? What do you like? What are those things?" So I think it should be a mix of the two. And while I even raised my hand before, was to just say, to commend you for bringing everybody together and to say things are happening. everybody should be open-minded and be free to connect. That's what I wanted to say before your last comment. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Adili.
And we still have a talk to it.
Yeah, I just remembered. So apologies. This last month was literally like the craziest month. I had a lot of things I was doing at the same time. Okay. So Adili has suggested we're going to make it a little bit light and also give people we're not going to control the environment anyway. So you can get into the room, do whatever you want to do. The reason we're trying to create a bit of a guide is so that we are all watching, where we fall, in the equation of things, and also we don't also want to like create an environment where two people get into the room and they say, I'm watching you. Are you going to be my co-founder? And the other guy is like, I'm watching you too. It doesn't create an atmosphere that is much more genuine. That's why we want to at least create a case. So you get into the room and then you guys are actually talking about something. And it's also a problem. So it takes you away from the much more casual, mental state to a much more professional mental state. It's not an interview. It's also not over casual. We just want to like strike a balance in between, if you understand what I've been ranting about. Okay, any other final thoughts before we call it a day? It's been a very beautiful evening, and as Ayodele said, thank you everybody for coming on this call. I also understand that some people are here not necessarily because they're looking for partnership, but they just came in to say, oh, let me come help. I just want to see if I can help someone. Some people are actually designed that way. They are everywhere because they want to also see if they can help. And some people are also here to just listen in
On the streets of
and
Owerri
learn.
Road in Enugu State.
So, any other final thoughts, guys, before we call it a day? Final thoughts. Now, in the absence of final thoughts, guys, let's do a quick selfie. I know it's late in some part of the world. It is late where I am too. It is just that I'm later than late. So the late cannot get me. Oh, thank you, everybody. Thank you again. Thank you. Thank you. Let's wait for others that are happy to join. For those that are also happy to join the selfie. I always like to do this. Really like to do this. Really like to do this. I see some of us are driving. Keep safe, precious. Toby, good to see you. TT Love, well, good to see you. TT Love is enjoying chopping oil and gas money. Tedri is there. Tedri, good to see you. Ayodele, good to see you. Eloy is there. Precious is there. Who else is in the room that we haven't captured? Okay. Shagun is there. Shagun, thank you. Daniel, thank you, guys. Let's do one more thing. Just wave. That's all. Just wave. Just wave. Just wave. Just wave. Just wave. Latif, thank you for joining. Adama, thank you. Abibola, thank you. Everybody, thank you. I wish I could call everybody's name for now. Thank you. We'll see you again. Guys, watch out for the form. The form will be open very soon. Olua, Femi, thank you for joining. The form will be open soon. Remember, we're just trying to find an opportunity to connect and match. That is the goal. And let us build something fantastic. Enjoy your beautiful evening. Enjoy your evening. Whatever the time you are in there, enjoy. Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you. Bye.